Hey guys, it's Katie Taylor, and I am bringing up the rear in this month's travel video collab with the creative design team. Today's video is all about that travel title page and 5 things your title page needs. Here is a look at what I'll be using and the sketch. This is a Katie original, and I'm actually going to be trying to produce a sketchbook, if you will, so stay tuned for that. And then I've also pulled out the beach party paper, cardstock, and sticker sheet that I'll be using for this album. So the first thing I am going to do is I've cut everything per the sketch that I just showed you, and then I am inking around the edges, and all the white pieces and then those Capri pieces will be inked using Capri ink. If you aren't familiar with ink distressing, there are several methods to distress your paper, and this one is the direct to paper method. So all you do is turn your ink pad over and then just run that ink along the edge of your paper. It basically just creates a separation or definitely dimension in your paper, if you will. So I'm going to finish up this piece with the candy apple red and then go ahead and secure those white daisy cardstock pieces to the Capri. So the first thing your title page needs is a photo, and this could either be your favorite photo or you can use a collage of photos. So for these little square pieces in my sketch, I'm actually going to just use 3 photos that I have imported into PicMonkey. I do have a video showing you how to print smaller photos. I'll leave that linked down below if you're interested. Now I'm going to work on the base page. I am pulling out one of the stencils from the stencil pack number 1, and I will be using the sun with the waves. Now you've seen a couple of the creative design team members already use this stencil pack, and I just absolutely love it. It's got several options, and right now I'm just tacking that down to my glass mat so it won't move. And then I'm going to cover up the waves underneath the sun because I do not want those to show. As far as the ink I'll be using a combination of Lemonade and Sundance, and I'm just going to ink up over the stencil. Here is a look at that stencil pack number 1. You've got some mountains, you've definitely got a cityscape, you've just got tons of options, and you just use and ink up over the ones that you want. So for the second color of the sun, just to add depth, I am going to be using Sundance. It's just a little darker yellow, and I'm going to be concentrating along the bottom of the sun as well as the bottom of those rays. Now is an excellent opportunity to remind you, if you're liking what you see, leave me a comment and a thumbs up, and then don't forget to subscribe and sign up for notifications. It helps YouTube show you more of the same, and it also helps my little channel out in the process. So this little stencil had these 3 little birds, so I've pulled out my Harbor ink and I'm going to ink up over them. One of the birds actually crosses over one of the rays, so I'm just going to use some of my masking tape to try and hide that. I did get a little bit of that harbor on one of the rays, but I think in the end it looks okay. So here is a look at that sun. I actually just love the depth, and then of course those little birds. Now, as far as my sketch goes, there was a piece over to the left that just kind of anchors the layout, which is perfect for title pages. Here is a big, huge 8x10 photo. Now, remember, I said to use one of your favorite photos or a collage. I will be doing kind of both because this is a favorite photo. And then I have these 3 photos that I will be adding 3D foam tape to the back, and those will go directly over my photo up at the top. Now, when adding 3D foam tape directly onto a photo, you want to make sure that you are using an acid and lignin-free 3D foam tape. So this one, I am using some of our foam tape from Close to My Heart to make sure that it does not damage that photo. I am going to just kind of play around with these photos right quick to see where I want the placement. I definitely want those 2 palm trees to show, so I'm going to make sure that those 2 photos kind of straddle that one palm tree that is in the middle of the photo. So the next things your title page needs are the when and the where of the album. So I've pulled out the slimline alphabet. It is one of my favorites, and I'm going to just kind of play around with the actual metal die to see how that title is going to look. Now, we do have a brand new thin cut and stamp set. What I love about this one is it actually comes with a coordinating stamp set that you can see there. I think that because the metal dies are just a little bit thicker, I don't think that this is going to work, but I am going to kind of try to roughly spell out Cancun to see how far across it goes on the top of my layout. This one is called the Moxie alphabet. Again, it is a bundle, so you get the metal die and the coordinating stamp set. So the next thing your travel title page needs is a design element. And this is a design element that will carry through the rest of the album. You can see here a page that I've already done, and I've used the wood grain alphabet that is brand new. I've pulled out that alphabet, and I'm going to just try and put a C here and there to see if maybe it won't blend in so much and maybe if it'll stand out. I'm quickly realizing that it's just going to blend in and get lost. So I think I'm actually going to pull out the wood grain numbers, and that is what's going to be my year. Part of the when and where, again, I've cut out the Cancun. Those letters are just a little bit too skinny, so I'm actually going to use the negative part, and I'm going to back that with some candy apple cardstock. Again, bringing in that candy apple striped paper that's on the left, and then the buildings had a red roof. So I'm just going to add some liquid adhesive along the back of this piece of pattern paper. And this is the same pattern paper that I've used to back my photo. Just going to get that glued down, press down, and make sure that I get the center to that A glued down as well. And then we can start seeing where I want this title to go. So I don't want to cover up too much of that photo again. So I'm going to just kind of place that on the right side and then go ahead and punch out those wood grain numbers to represent the year that we went. And I'm just going to kind of rough it out. And then I'm going to play with those 3 square photos and maybe see if they should go long ways down the right side of the layout. And then my title should go up over those the top of that photo. Again, I play with it, but I really don't like it. I think it just hides too much of the photo. So now it is time to adhere those photos down. I'm going to bring out my T-ruler to make sure this first photo is straight, and then I'm going to go from there. Now, I kind of lose track of what I'm doing, and I actually try to adhere it down that right side, which is the last place I kind of looked at those photos. And then I quickly realized, oh, no, I don't want that. So I pull out my Cricut knife or my Cricut spatula. There was something all over the back of my spatula. So if you are not new here, you know that often toward the very end of my layout, I always either drop something or get something on there. So I'm going to have to fix that here in a second. So I've rotated my T-ruler, and then now I'm just going to make sure that the square photos are straight all the way across. Keeping in mind that, remember, those 2 left photos, I want to straddle that palm tree in the middle. Here's where I realize that I have something all over my hands, and I'm really, really mad at this point, but hang tight. We are going to fix that. So here is where the another when and where. So I pulled out my months of the year, which is August, and I'm going to pull out just the regular. There are a couple of Augusts, I guess you could say. There's a scripted one, and then just a plain sans, I guess, stamp set. So I'm going to pull off the backing of this Cancun title, go ahead and get it in place. Again, I am putting it up a little bit closer to that square photo, only to hide that black ink that actually got on my layout base. And then I'm going to bring out my Harbor ink, which is the same ink that I used for those birds up at the top. And I am going to stamp down this August. I like to put my sentiments on bigger blocks so I can definitely tell if they're straight. So that narrow one, even though it fit on there, I couldn't really tell where it was in relation to the Cancun. And then now I'm going to add liquid adhesive to the back of the 2021. Again, that is the wood grain element that is carried on throughout the album. Now, as far as hiding those little pieces, I pulled out my sticker sheet and I have found a couple of the strip sentiments that I like. This one says My Happy Place, and it is in that Capri ink, so I think it brings the water up to the top as well as those Capri square photos. And then there is another one that is the Sundance and the Candy Apple that says, Sun, Here We Come, which is perfect for a travel title page. It's kind of letting you know that the rest of the album will be all about sun and fun. Now we do have our brand new dots. These come in all colors, so I am going to use some red hearts to hide those little black splotches that got on the layout. So I've got a large heart, a medium, and then a small one that I'm going to put down right above that last photo on the right. And then I'm going to put some down at the bottom. I probably should have stopped there, but again, you guys know me. I just kind of go and go until I either can't go anymore or I just have to stop. So again, I've got the large, the medium, and the small hearts. And then I'm going to pull out the blue dots, and I'm going to be using just the plain little circles. So these are actually the teal dots. You can tell I've already used these. Again, I'm going to go with a large dot. I'm going to end up moving that to the top of the photo. And then I'm going to go with a little bitty small one to hide my little stenciling error. And then the medium-sized one right by that heart, by the title and the when and the where. In case you are counting, the fifth and final thing that your travel title page needs is journaling. Now, if you know me, if you did hit that subscribe button and you signed up for notifications, you know I usually don't journal online just because I never know who is watching and what information you can obtain. So I will journal right under where it says 2021. And then don't forget that this is part of the Creative Design Team collab for August. Again, I am pulling up the rear. So everyone has already posted and we actually have a playlist. So go ahead and click on that playlist to watch all the videos. And don't forget to subscribe and sign up for notifications so you won't miss another crafty video. Thanks so much for stopping by and watching.